What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a Star Wars comic video. And I wanted to talk about recent sales prices because today, which is November 12th, Disney's having like their big media day where they're going to be announcing new projects. And my gut says that we're going to be seeing some new movie announcements and TV show announcements, things like that, that maybe we didn't know about before. And Boss Bounty alerted me to a couple of leaks that happened here in the last few days that it looks like there's going to be a High Republic movie, a Star Wars High Republic movie, which is kind of the newer series that came out this year, based around the era that takes place about 200 or 300 years before the Clone Wars, and also the Old Republic, which is like the Knights of the Old Republic, Darth Revan, things like that. So apparently there's a big movie leaker on Twitter that has been known to be pretty accurate in his assessments, and apparently they're working on those actively, and apparently the High Republic is going to be the first of those two eras to see a movie, and which is awesome news for me because I've got so many High Republic comics. But I wanted to talk about, if that leak is true and if we see that information actually be formally announced by Disney here today, and I'll do a follow-up video at some point, I'm sure. What are the big books to get? And it seems like the market's already predicting that this is going to happen because the prices have jumped a lot over the last week. So thanks to Boss Bounty for letting me know about those leaks. I went ahead, I'll just be honest with you, I went ahead and got 5 different Star Wars High Republic CGC 9.8s. They should be here today. So at some point I'll do a video on those. But in addition to those two eras, I wanted to talk about some other key issues that I think are worth considering, some of which we've talked about, and I wanted to update you on prices. And I also wanted to kind of toot my own horn a little bit because a lot of the ones that I told you guys to pick up over the last 2 months, they have jumped like crazy. And I wanted to kind of give an update on those prices to let you know that, hey, despite the fact that I'm an idiot, and despite the fact that I just really kind of started collecting Star Wars comics, some of the ones that I picked have really jumped. And so I'm happy about that. But we'll see what happens from here. But I think that we are getting ready to enter a pretty big market run-up in Star Wars comics. The dead period, I think, is about over. They just had the first trailer drop for the Book of Boba Fett that comes out next month, and I think the excitement for Star Wars is going to ramp up considerably over the next few months. And the remaining days of kind of a flat market for Star Wars comics are probably over or getting close to over. So I would, if there's any books that you're looking for or considering getting to add to your collection before they get too expensive, now is probably the time. And I certainly have made my move on a few big books that I hope to share with you soon whenever they get here from being shipped. But let's go ahead and dig right in. This was a really interesting one. I have no idea what's going on with them. And maybe you comic experts out there that have a little bit more knowledge than me can share what's going on with this one. But I really like it, don't get me wrong. But this is Star Wars issue number 43. This is one that's in my collection. And again, I want to emphasize that I'm not being a comic snob when I show you CGC 9.8s only. It's just easier for me to track apples to apples prices over the last few months because that's what's in my head, and it's easier for me to keep track of it. So adjust your budget accordingly. If you can't afford a 9.8 in a certain comic that I'm going to show, adjust your budget accordingly. And you got plenty of great options at 9.6, 9.4, and so forth, depending on which comic you're looking for. But this one was interesting. This one was Star Wars number 43, the first appearance of Lando Calrissian in U.S. comics, the second appearance of Boba Fett, but it was signed by Frank Miller. Frank Miller of Sin City fame, of The Dark Knight Returns fame. I don't know why he signed this book, and maybe you guys who are a little bit more clued in can fill me in as to why it would make sense to have such a key Star Wars issue signed by Frank Miller. I don't know. It looks awesome, though. I certainly would love to get a Frank Miller signed comic, probably a Batman comic or something like that. Something that he's more known for. But, he didn't do the cover art on this one of the story, so I don't know why he signed this. It might have just been the only comic that the submitter had handy. But what an awesome deal that was. $449 is a great deal for that. I mean, I paid quite a bit more for my CGC Blue Label 9.8. So maybe they whoever was bidding on this discounted it because it makes no sense to have Frank Miller sign it. But I thought it was a pretty cool item nonetheless. This sold 2 days ago on 25 bids for $449 plus shipping. Okay, now I want to get into Darth Revan and Darth Malak. Those are probably the two biggest names in the Knights of the Old Republic or the Old Republic era. And if the rumors hold true and Disney announces that an Old Republic era movie is coming to the Star Wars universe, what are some of the big books to get? So the first one is really Star Wars Tales 23. And this is the first comic book appearance of Darth Revan and Darth Malak in cameo. So it's really just on the last page. And there are two different covers. I'm sure there might be other covers, but these are the two covers that I'm the most familiar with. This is the first one, and I think if you're going to get the first cameo of Darth Revan, this is the one I would get. This is the one I like the best. It says The Curse of Wedge Antilles. It's a really cool cover. It's a artwork cover. That one sold for $495 on free shipping just a few days ago, or maybe a week ago. And then the other cover is this one. This is the movie photo variant cover. Same book. This came out in March of 2005. First comic book appearance of Darth Revan and Darth Malak, as you know. But I like this cover less because typically when you have multiple comic covers for the same issue, usually the photo cover does worse. So like the first Darth Maul, for example, Phantom Menace one, there's a painted artistic cover and then there's a photo cover with Ray Park on the cover. And typically the non-photo cover is worth about, let's call it 30% more, 40% more than the photo cover. So this one this one sold at auction on 35 bids 3 days ago for $430 plus $17 shipping. So let's call that about $450. And this one sold for $495. So about a 10% premium for the non-photo cover. So this is the one that I would get personally because I think for the price difference, this is a cooler cover if you're going to get Star Wars Tales 23. But keep in mind that it's only one page and they're in shadows, so it's not really a true full first appearance comic. It's just a cameo. Now this is the big one. This is the one that everyone wants. And this one has had a massive run up. It got down to about, as low as about $950 here recently. During the peak comic market back in like May, June timeframe, that thing got up to almost $2,000 during the very height of the market. And this is Knights of the Old Republic #9, the first full appearance of Revan. It's an epic cover, one we've talked about in the past many times. But this, like I said, this one got down to, here recently in the fall to about $900 to $950. And now that the rumors are starting to heat up again, it bounced off of those lows, and this one was best offer accepted, $14.95. So I don't know what the sales price was, but I can guarantee you it's well above that $950 bottom for this book. So probably missed out on this one for me personally, but what an awesome cover. And this is if you're only going to get one book and you have the budget for it, this is the one to get. Depending on what grade you can afford, but that is easily the best one. That's the first full appearance of Revan. The other one that I really like is this one. This is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic #42, which is the origin of Revan. And this is a pretty epic book, Malak Unleashed, and it's got a Mandalorian there on the cover, kind of shooting and using his rocket pack. But what an awesome book. But yeah, it's labeled as the origin of Revan. Now this price is crazy because this thing has been selling for about $600 to $650, and then the rumors came out that Disney is going to be announcing an Old Republic or Knights of the Old Republic movie here soon, and this auction ended after that rumor surfaced on Twitter, and the winning bid was $1,000, or about 40% higher than where this book has been selling over the last few months. So clearly the market is guessing that the Knights of the Old Republic is going to be coming to movies, or potentially, maybe in a Disney Plus show of some sort, or appearance in an existing show. So we'll see. Darth Revan has been rumored to be in The Mandalorian, and I don't know how that matches up with regard to timeline, but that was something I saw on keycollectorcomics.com. But wow, this number is way high, and a lot higher than where this book has been selling. So those, again, to summarize, if you're interested in getting a Darth Revan book, you got Star Wars Tales 23, which has got two different cover variations, the photo and the painted cover. You got Knights of the Old Republic #9, which is the big one. And then you also have Knights of the Old Republic #42, which is the origin book. So those are that gives you some options if you still want to pick up an awesome Revan related comic. Another one, now this is one that I recommended picking up, and the price has already jumped pretty substantially since I recommended it. This had been going for about $200, and this was best offer accepted at $300. So who knows what that sales price was, but I can guarantee you it's significantly above that $200 price point. But this is Shadows of the Empire #1, the first appearance of Dash Rendar in cameo, as well as the first full appearance of Prince Xizor. So this is one I still think is a great pickup if you can get it for closer to $200 because of the Book of Boba Fett. There's a good chance he shows up, I think, Prince Xizor. If it happens, awesome. If it doesn't, then it's still an awesome book to have in your collection because Prince Xizor is he's got a great history. This is another one that I've talked on many videos about recommending picking up, and that's Star Wars Clone Wars #2, the second appearance of Ahsoka Tano. When I first recommended it, it was kind of in that $225 to $250 range. It's now consistently selling for above $300. So this one sold for $330 with free shipping. So that's another one that I think that because Clone Wars #1 has gotten so expensive in a 9.8, it's very regularly selling for $2,700 to $3,000 in a 9.8 grade. This is your next best option, in my opinion. Or Mace Windu #5, which is the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano in Marvel continuity. That still goes for around $200. That's one I picked up recently, and I'm sure I'll show in a new video sometime soon. Star Wars Thrawn, the Thrawn books have just skyrocketed like crazy. This is the 1 in 50 Francisco Matina variant of his origin story. This book has always been expensive, but this one sold at auction, closed 2 days ago, and that one sold for $3,052, which is a massive number considering you can get the original Dark Horse first appearance comic for about half that price or less. So that's a big number for a 1 in 50 variant. It's an awesome book, but that's a pretty pricey price to pay, pretty expensive price to pay for a 1 in 50 origin book. And this is the one that I've shown in my collection. This one sold for $317, which that's about a 50% premium versus what I paid just a few months ago. So clearly people are getting excited about Thrawn about to show up in Ahsoka Tano. They've already cast the actor who's going to be playing Grand Admiral Thrawn. I still think this is a book that has a lot of potential to go up even further in price, and it's just an epic cover. I mean, if you've read the original Timothy Zahn book about Thrawn's origin, I've reread it. I loved the book, and this cover just really perfectly captures the origin story for Thrawn. So that's one I still continue to like. This is another one that I recommended. This is the first appearance of the Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor. I think that it's becoming more and more likely that we're going to see him show up in Disney Plus content. There's rumors that they're going to have their own show related only to the Grand Inquisitor and all the other kind of second sister, fifth brother, or whatever they are, all the different Inquisitorius, so to speak. And this book I picked up for less than half of what this final sales price was from 2 days ago. This was at auction as well. That sold for $317 plus $15 shipping. I recommended it to Chris W. To buy this book, and he bought it right when I bought mine. And it's been a good investment. That thing has gone up, over double. About over double in price versus what we paid back in, I think, March, April, May timeframe, somewhere in there. So that's one to keep an eye out for. That's Darth Vader #6, the first appearance of the Inquisitor. I still think that book could be a $500 book or more if the Inquisitor shows up either in existing shows or the Inquisitorius have their own show on Disney Plus in the future. Rogue One is another book that I talked about and recommended picking up. This is the cover that I would love to pick up, and I wanted to bid on this one, but I did not. This is Rogue One Adaptation #1. This is from April 2017. But this is the variant cover, the darker variant cover. The census, the CGC census for this book is a lot less than the white cover book. So I would recommend, if you're going to get one of the two, this is the better book, and the price is a little bit more expensive. The white cover, which is the standard cover for Rogue One Adaptation #1, goes for about $150 or thereabouts. This one sold for $214 2 days ago in an auction on 37 bids. I really, really wanted this book because it's a better cover, darker cover, much more difficult to get in a 9.8 grade or whatever grade it is you're looking for. But what an awesome cover. It's got Baze Malbus. It's got, oh man, my brain's not working. Chirrut Imwe. It's got Bodhi Rook. It's got Andor, Cassian Andor, as well as K2SO. And then, of course, you got Jyn Erso right there in the cover. I mean, that is just an awesome cover. The flowing capes for Chirrut Imwe, it just looks so good. That is such an awesome cover. So that is the one I would get if I was going to only pick one of them. But these come up so irregularly because the census is so small for that in a 9.8. So you just got to keep your eyes out for that. But that gives you a good price target to aim for, $214 or $220 after shipping. If you can get it for close to that, whoever got that got a fantastic deal, because I think that once the Cassian Andor show comes out, and if it does well, then this book is going to be double that easily. The other option is this one, the John Tyler Christopher action figure variant. This is Director Krennic. This one sold for $150 plus shipping. Another one that is a little bit tougher to get in a 9.8 because of all the black. But that one is a really nice one. I hadn't seen this one come up. I didn't see it come up for sale in time. It must have sold almost immediately, because that is a really nice Tate's Comic Edition exclusive action figure variant by John Tyler Christopher. But really cool item. Again, $150 plus $16 shipping for that one. But I think the order, if I was going to pick one of them, I would take this one first. I would take the white cover version of the Rogue One second. I would take the Jyn Erso action figure variant third, which is another variant for the cover, and I would take this one fourth if I was going to pick those. And there's like a retail incentive variant, but that thing is really expensive. You're talking $800 plus for that retail incentive variant. But in terms of like the more standard covers or variant covers that are not retail incentive covers, these are the ones I would go for in terms of that order. Dr. Aphra has bounced a little bit off of the lows. It was crazy. It got up to 550 or so. It dropped back down to about 400 when I bought it. Went back up to 550, dropped to 350, and now it's back in the kind of the 425 range. I'm hoping that Disney announces. Well, actually, I don't. I hope that I think they're going to announce an Aphra show sometime soon. I hope it's not today during the media relations conference today, because I want to get some more. I want to get some more of this book, because I think it's an awesome one to get. But right now it's bounced a little bit off the lows. It's like in that 400 to 425 range still. I would absolutely get this book, because I think it's going to be $1,000 book before you know it. It's just an awesome cover. Now let's get into the High Republic. These are ones that I bought a few of these, and they're going to be arriving today. I bought 5 different covers that should all be arriving today. But the rumor is that they're going to be announcing a High Republic era movie soon by Disney. And I think that this is the standard cover. This is not the one I personally would get, but it's a fine book, don't get me wrong. But this book for a long time was in that $50 to $60 range. And then this one sold for $100 consistently. This guy's still got 5 more available. I would not pay $100 yet. I think if the movie gets announced, it's going to be going for $100. But in an auction, you can get this one for still about $60 to $75 is my guess, because this is just the standard cover. There's a bunch of these printed. I would veer towards maybe some of the exclusives that are out there, like the 1 in 25 or something like that, 1 in 10, even with Lorna D on the cover. I've got that one coming. But I don't want you to forget about this one. This is one I've talked about in the past. This is the first cameo appearance of Avar Kriss, who's one of the main heroes in the High Republic era. This is in Rise of Kylo Ren number 3 from April 2020. This is, again, the first appearance of Avar Kriss in cameo. It's labeled as such on the book. It's a dark cover. This one has been selling in the $100 to $150 range. I think this is a really good one to get because it's got Kylo Ren. It's got a really cool cover. It's a Clayton Crane cover, who's a pretty big artist. And I think that one has the potential to do really well if they do announce the High Republic era coming to Disney or coming to movie theaters. The other one I've talked about before, this is the 1 in 10 High Republic Adventures number 1. This is the first cameo appearance of the main villain, Marchion Ro. I've talked at length. I won't bore you again, but this is the one I would get. if you are into getting some books related to the High Republic, because Marchion Ro is if they make a movie, he's absolutely going to be the main villain. So I would pick that one up. You can still get that for anywhere from $70 to about $100. Or you can get the High Republic #2. I was surprised to see this because all 7 of these sold at $100. This is the first full appearance of Marchion Ro. I think you can get it for less than that. That one sold for $100 plus $13 shipping. At least right now, you can get this. This is just the standard non-retail incentive variant cover. You can get that one for closer to $70 is my guess. There is a 1-in-10 ratio variant that goes for a little bit more, but I was really surprised to see all 7 of those sell for $113. I just would be patient and wait for an auction on that one. But that's an awesome book to get too. I don't have that one yet, but I really want it. Finally, I still recommend getting this one. This is the first appearance of Diva Devil. This is the Chang variant cover. It shows her on the cover. I think there's a good chance that maybe not this season for the Book of Boba Fett, but if the Book of Boba Fett is successful, I think that they'll absolutely include her as a bounty hunter in a storyline on the Book of Boba Fett. If not, it's just an awesome cover to get. That's the one I would get. Or the 1-in-25 Cello. I think it's Cello is how you pronounce that. The 1-in-25 variant cover, which I do have coming. I got that one pre-ordered. Anyway, long video, but I wanted to give you some ideas and just let you know what's going on in the market. But just lots of really cool books that are out there. We'll see what Disney does today in their media relations kind of conference and see what gets announced. And I'll do a follow-up video either this weekend or next week, depending on my schedule. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be back soon.